Howdy denizens, Crazy Jason here.
OJ over here.
And we are with Cackalacky Movie Madness doing a review for the Rough Cuts. And what did we just realize today, that this is going up Christmas Eve?
Yep. Friday is our day, and it'll be Christmas Eve when you see this. So.
And what better movie to review on Christmas Eve than Dazed and Confused?
What most of you will be after putting up with family for several days.
True that. You might need something that they use in Dazed and Confused. No,
right.
We don't condone drug use in any way whatsoever. But today we are reviewing the HD DVD version of Dazed and Confused because it is, and we're comparing and contrasting to the Criterion version.
Right.
But mainly we're going to focus on this, just focusing on the movie for the most part. This has still not been released on Blu-ray.
It has not. I'm surprised.
I know it's been announced. I don't know if there's a date.
Yeah.
I didn't do the research on that, but
that's disappointing.
That is, but this has been around for a number of years.
Yeah.
And this is one of the main reasons why I decided to take the leap into HD DVD earlier this year. I know I jumped on the bandwagon pretty early, but on to the movie.
1993.
Richard Linklater.
Yes. I know the first time I saw this movie was a couple of years after it had shown in theaters. It was showing a lot on Stars at the time. And it seemed like everybody in my high school watched it simultaneously, and there were so many parallels, even in the 90s, with high school behavior. My high school even looked like their high school. And the stereotypes were all perfect. We had the O'Banion, we had the Wiley Wiggins character, we had Parker Posey, the super bitchy senior chick. We had all of those, and it was so easy to relate to. And with the music, the cars, everything, it just really, really hit a nerve. And
I think that is something that Linklater alludes to in the commentary, is that really since the 50s things have not changed with teenage life,
right,
and in relation to their parents.
This movie has just so many awesome things about it. First of all, it launched a ton of careers. You've got Mila Jovovich has a very small role. She only has a couple of lines.
Yeah, she strums a guitar,
yeah.
She paints the Kiss statues.
Yes, which was awesome. Rory Cochrane launched out of this.
That was not his hair, by the way. He never had long hair.
He never had the long hair.
No.
Kevin Smith would go on to cast half of this movie's cast in Mallrats the next year, with Ben Affleck and Joey Lauren Adams and the London brother.
Yeah, so we have Jason London, Joey Lauren Adams, you just mentioned Mila Jovovich, Shawn Andrews, Rory Cochrane, Adam Goldberg, who's a personal favorite of mine.
Yeah.
Anthony Rapp, Sasha Jensen, Marissa Ribisi,
Giovanni Ribisi's sister.
Right, Cole Hauser,
yeah.
Wiley Wiggins, let's see, Ben Affleck, of course, is O'Banion. Let's see, Parker Posey, who is a personal favorite of mine. She's been in a lot of great little indie films. Let's see, who else? Matthew McConaughey, of course. This was his first film,
and his best performance ever. It was his peak.
As the Wooderson character was written in the script, he only had a few lines.
Yeah.
But as they were shooting, they expanded his role. They kind of knew something was special there, and they just kind of kept getting. One of the reasons they expanded his role is because Shawn Andrews and Jason London didn't get along. In fact, they had fights that they had to break up, and so Shawn Andrews kind of ostracized himself from the cast. Matthew McConaughey got to step in, and that just launched his career. I mean, dude just kind of loafing along one day, accidentally gets, he didn't even go into a casting session. The casting director met him, and they were like talking in a diner or something. And
that's the way his entire career has went.
Happenstance.
Just living, man.
Just living.
L-I-V-I-N.
Which I did want to talk about the commentary by Linklater. it's interesting. But basically, the bulk of it is him ruminating about his high school years and his time in the 70s and relating it to the movie. All the little tidbits, stories that led to him writing this piece or that piece. It's very semi-autobiographical for him. But he didn't go into a lot of detail about the actual production itself, which is kind of great for me because I like to get some technical detail, especially the look of the film. Because this movie really takes you and plunks you down in the 70s. I mean, we really don't...
Total immersion.
We really don't...
Yeah.
I mean, we weren't, old. We really didn't know what it looked like. But, yeah, you're right. It's total immersion. It's like even Richard Linklater wanted it to be like a time capsule. Like this film was filmed in the 70s. He even did a lot. He tried to emulate Scorsese and people like that with some of the slower shots with the music and things like that.
When they when they go into the Emporium and Bob Dylan's Hurricane is playing, that's a straight up Scorsese shot right there. And
that's Richard Linklater. He had a place like the Emporium he went into one night, and Hurricane was playing. So it's there's so much from his life in the film. Yeah.
And that's one big thing about this movie. The music is almost a character in and of itself. So many great bands, so many great songs. You got Black Sabbath, you've got Black Oak, Arkansas, there's Head East, Sweet, Kiss,
Aerosmith, of course.
Yeah, you got Sweet Emotion opens up the movie.
Great opening shot.
Yeah.
And the great thing is, no matter how small the role, the characters were fully fleshed.
Yeah,
there was no characters. There was no none of it felt like a cameo or just a one-dimensional character. They were all filled out.
Except mercifully for Renee Zellweger's minor part in this flick. No lines. You barely see her squinched up lemon face,
Pucker's lips.
Yeah, she's just in it for a couple of seconds.
Oh, by the way, if you're wondering where she is, when they're Wooderson and they're standing right outside the Emporium right before he utters that famous line.
I keep getting older and they stay the same age.
That's right. She walks past them and they kind of take a look at her. But she walks so fast. I didn't. It took me years to even realize that was her.
She's also in the scene where the senior girls are hazing the freshman girls in the parking lot with the flour and the ketchup and the mustard. She's also in that scene as well. In my mind, this could be part of a trilogy with American Graffiti, Dazed and Confused, Superbad. Trilogy, there.
I could go with that, and those are all films that I could watch repeatedly.
Right.
Looks fantastic on HD DVD, by the way. So if you're looking forward to the Blu-ray, it should look great. I did compare the HD DVD to the upscaled Criterion, and while it was close, the Criterion looked quite good at upscaled. So if you have this Criterion, don't feel bad. It looks really fantastic, but there's just no comparing because there's simply not the same level of information in here. This has got twice the amount of information in it.
Blacks are really good. Detail on the cars. And speaking of the cars,
sky jumps out too. You notice the blue and the clouds in the sky was one of the main things, and all the little details in the production design. All of the work they did that everything in there is specific, not only to the 70s, 76.
The cars in this movie are, like the music, almost another character in and of themselves, because each character has their car that is unique to them. Wooderson has a 70 Chevelle SS 454. And then Nicky Katt's character has I believe it's a 70 or 71 white Trans Am. And there's a scene where they're talking in the parking lot.
But Linklater said in his commentary that in the day, you know, the muscle cars were cool, but what everybody wanted was a Trans Am.
Right.
That was like the cool car to get.
Even before Smokey and the Bandit. Yeah. And so, yeah, they were standing in the parking lot, and Nicky Katt's character is giving Wooderson a hard time about the size of the tires on his car. And there's just a lot of, you know, cool car dialogue through the whole thing. And O'Banion had I believe it was a Duster that he was driving, and even the guys with the trucks, you know, with the CBs that were PA systems and everything. Just, you know, everybody had a car that kind of fit their persona. And another car I cannot leave out, though, is Pickford's 70 GTO Judge.
Yes.
That thing is just so sweet. And then, you know, they've got that guy that looked like Johnny Cash, whose mailbox they took out. that pops up at the convenience store with the gun.
He was actually the stunt coordinator.
Oh yeah.
He wanted because they wanted, you know, the scene where they drive off and he actually takes the fall. Yeah. In one shot, comes back up, starts shooting.
As far as PQ goes on the HD DVD, I can honestly give this a solid 4.5.
Yeah, I was gonna say 4.
You're gonna say 4?
4.5.
Yeah. Sound
very
is
faithful to what he was trying to do.
Exactly. Sound is good. There's some nice bass, especially in some of the scenes, the songs, and some of the scenes with the cars roaring by.
Fairly front heavy.
Yeah. But it's mostly a dialogue heavy movie, so you're not going to really get a wowing kind of soundtrack. But overall, just a very, very solid disc there. And
if you want to know the disc details, if you're curious about getting the HD DVD, which I highly recommend. I mean, I know it's coming out next year on Blu-ray, and Big Lebowski and all these titles eventually come to Blu-ray. But right now, you can get these movies for like 99 cents.
Yeah.
And you can get a player for like $60. Which, by the way, you know, the players make excellent upscalers. Yeah, these Toshibas.
So, in conclusion, if you haven't seen the movie, go out right now and pick it up. You're going to enjoy it. I don't know anybody that's seen this movie that doesn't like it.
I haven't met anybody. I've met people who have been sort of lukewarm, not as enthusiastic about it as we are. Yeah. But if you're a lover of film, lover of cinema, and I don't mean to insult the people who don't really like it all that much, but it's for most taste, I would say.
Yeah, if you're a car enthusiast, you just like the 70s rock. If you were, you know...
Hell, if you went to high school. Yeah. In any era.
Yeah. You know? You're going to identify with a lot of the characters. You're going to find somebody...
And like you said at the beginning, there was that character.
Right.
All of these guys, you recognize somebody from your school, and the archetypal characters.
Especially both of us having gone to school in the South, you know, especially. So. Right. Yeah, but like we said, movie that can be watched over and over again and can be had fairly inexpensively, both on a high-definition format and in a very, very nicely packaged Criterion edition. So that is it for our review of Dazed and Confused. Hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you next Friday here on the Rough Cuts.
That's right, and you guys have a Merry Christmas, safe and happy holidays, and we'll see you next week.